Hey guys, let's see. Back to me. Um, Sorry, I just want to see if this is really going live. You know what? We're just gonna have to trust the process on this one. So hopefully, hopefully we're in business. Hopefully. Um, I don't know. Okay. Well, once again, hey, how's everybody doing? Hope everybody had a great long holiday weekend. Um, Happy belated Thanksgiving. Hope your Thanksgiving was great. Um, as mentioned in the title, it's just a little chaotic. You may hear some other noises more than usual, just because today we just received a projector that my significant other has been wanting for years now. So we went ahead and bit the bullet. It's like $1,200. Okay. Um, so, but he wants like the theater experience in the bedroom. So that's that's what we're trying to do. But it literally, like, just as I was like, you know what, I'm just gonna start this live right now. It arrived. So he really wants me to go in there and help and move the TV and all the type of stuff. And I was like, look, I got a live to do. Okay, I'll be back with you, but I gotta talk to my sewing people first. So here we are. I made tea especially for this, so get your drink, settle in. Yeah, so um, promises. So what my next goal was to actually work on the nikko top and dress from True Bias Patterns right here. Oof. Well, that's probably going to be your best bet. Or hold on. Oh snap! Yeah. So that um, nikko top and dress. Um, there are four variations, so you can basically have it's a mock turtleneck. So all of them have the mock turtleneck part, and then it's just like sleeves, no sleeves, turtleneck top, or dress. Um, Basically those variations, and so I actually have on deck to create five of them. But right now, I have cut out all the pieces to create two of them, specifically the turtleneck with the sleeves and the dress version with sleeves as well. I didn't. I started to do sleeveless, and I was like, nah, I think it would be like a nice, just I don't know. I don't even know where I would wear it, but it's in this is technically a deep navy color, but it looks black. But actually, I think in this light you can almost tell it's navy. But yeah, some black handle scissors. Nope, not helping. Um, but trust me, it's very deep navy, basically black. But yeah, so it'll turn out to the long one will be just like this with the sleeves, and then everybody knows what a turtleneck looks like in that color. But it's I love the quality of the fabric. You never know when you're buying fabric online. But to be honest, I feel like I've purchased fabric online for the regularly probably in the last 7 years for sure. Like since I've moved here to DC, um, just because I don't really drive in the city. not I don't really drive. I really just don't drive in the city. And then my car got totaled earlier this year. It's not a long story. It's just it is what it is. Nobody was hurt because the car was parked, so it was basically hit as it was parked. We're thinking it was like a waste management truck or something, because the way it was hit, and it was parked. It was a parking spot that was open, but it was near the opening, kind of an alley. It's just really tight where it was parked. Like if any big trucks have to like go in and out. Yeah. So she was an older car. I'm sorry. I think I'm just still not over it. But anyway, saying I brought all that up because um yeah, I just don't really drive around here, so I just don't really usually go to any fabric stores. The closest one that I would probably go to is actually in about 7, 8 miles away, which is a Joanne Fabric. But the train line just takes you way around anyway. Nobody cares, so that's why I never go there. Oh my goodness! Hey girl, hey. So we have one person here. Isn't it really late where you are in Holland? I don't know. I could have my time zones all mixed up. But yeah, so anyway, that's kind of what's on my agenda right now. But I think because I had basically said like, oh, I want to make sure like I at least start a couple of them or have a couple of them done. My intention was to have it ready. Sorry about your car. Oh, that's okay. That's okay. Life goes on. And actually, the public transportation is so good where I live that I kind of don't miss it. And we're around enough, like stores and whatnot, like groceries and all that. I can more or less manage just walking and all that type of stuff. But I'm really also glad you mentioned that, only because it let me know that you can hear me. So I'm glad the audio is good. Yeah. So anyway, I was like today I was like furiously like making sure that like all of my stuff was cut out, and then I started surging and stuff, and I was like, why am I doing this now? I could be doing this live. So I was like, all right. But I obviously the setup that I have is like a little different. And I'm gonna be using my serger, which I don't know. She's loud. She's really loud, so that could really get obnoxious, which is why I've moved this over here and not she. This is usually over here. Um, oh, okay. Thanks. I'm glad the audio is good, and glad you could stop in before you go to bed. Uh, and yeah, don't watch all of this. It would just be it would just be cutting into your sweet dream time. So, but I'm really glad you stopped by. Um, Always really great to see you. Um, yes. So I guess honestly, like most of this pattern really is just a lot of surging. Um, but I think I will be. Yeah, there are some parts that I definitely will need to be using the sewing machine, but I will not be using this sewing machine because it's a straight stitch only. So I will be using that machine behind me, rather, um, to do some zigzag stitching or whatever. But I don't know how far I'll really get into it. But the lovely thing about this pattern is it really doesn't matter which view you do. I guess unless you do the view that's sleeveless, because it does have a long piece where you're basically doing the edging for the armhole. But basically it's like 5 pieces. Oh, well, if you're not doing the sleeve, that makes it okay. So every view is gonna be 4 pieces. It's just either you're gonna have a sleeve piece, or you're gonna have like the edging piece or whatever. But it's knit. It's technically quick. I don't do anything quick sewing wise, but for the most part, it's been kind of moving along. I've looked over the instructions. Um, the instruction book feels so light. It's really short and sweet. Um, but I know there's no way I'm not gonna finish this in front of you guys. Like I never do. So I can at least show you where I'm at or what I've gotten so far. It's, yeah, some of the stuff I obviously have to hold up just because, you know, my camera situation is a little different right now. Anyway, um, yeah, so this is like your front. Seems so inefficient what I'm doing right now, but whatever. Your back. I feel like you can tell it's a little more navy now. Ooh, all these lights. Two sleeves, and I've already serged the neck band. So that's one of them. Then the other one is just so much more long. There's actually slits on the bottom of the dress. So for that reason, I'm supposed to serge the sides. I have to serge the sides individually to make the slits. I can't serge them together. That, yeah. Slits. This feels so. Oh. Get off. Uh-oh. Come back. Okay. Yeah. So yeah, anyway, so just let me, like I said, it's gonna be a little weird because I'm not as usually like prepped up as I usually am. So let me get my next piece going. But what I did do, while you didn't see, the bottom of the sleeves, I went ahead and serged. And the bottom of the dress and the tops I went ahead and serged. That way, yeah, hemming those will be just so much easier later. So I've done most of that for the dress. I went ahead and did both neck pieces, mock turtleneck pieces, and now I'm gonna finish serging up the sides for the other. Is this the back or front piece? The back piece. I'm gonna serge the sides of the dress. All right. Here goes nothing. Oh, thanks. I think it's gonna be cute too. You know, it's just one of those things where like I feel like I need some like good basics, and I've made this, actually I don't even know where it is anymore. I think it's one of those things where I had to make another size because again, I think it's just the version I made a couple years ago is just too small for me now. So, but even though I've only made one version and used this once, I would dare to call it a TNT, a tried and true pattern. It's just a good basic. That's why I'm committing to 5. So, all right, let's get this baby roaring. Let's see how this is gonna look. All right, you can still see me. I'm gonna be turned. Let's go. Just close your ears. If it gets too loud, just turn it down. Oh. Okay. So, very important. It's one thing about serging the sides of anything, you're just gonna have to mark it, because that mark is obviously gonna go away. Can you see that? So basically, where the notch is, I've just basically put a chalk mark. So it doesn't completely get lost. Yes, at the stage 2 sewing the basics. Yeah, I just feel like I just end up, you learn how to sew and then you're like, whoa, all these fantastical things. And you make those fantastical things and I'm like, you know what, sometimes I just want a t-shirt. Where's my t-shirt? um, yeah. So, and this is something I can just pull out every winter, you know? I finally broke down and got a one of those like puffy sweater vests. I never thought I'd be that person, but you know, like I'm like, oh gosh, once I make this mock neck turtleneck and put my little puffy sweater vest over it, you know. All right, all right. So again, I'm serging this part, but I'm not you know, I'm not trying to put two pieces together. I'm not really trying to, the blade's right there, but I'm not gonna like cut into this. If you're wondering what this is my tailor's tack. Yeah. Because that's basically where the start of the slit is. Man, did that feel like forever. Alright. Now on to the other side. I have to do the same markings as I did for the notches. I don't think you can see that, but trust me, I'm doing it. All right. You know, I've only had this surgery, you know, just one surgery, so like I'm sure most people do, but sometimes she sounds like a bunch of garbled rocks. And like, I swear, if this thing breaks down right now, I'm just shutting this whole thing down. Like, we're just done here. I'm not even gonna try to diagnose that on camera. But honestly, I'm talking mad stuff about her. She's great. Once again, getting to the slit. I'd rather not run over one of these threads. Positive energy only. You're right. You're right. Woo woo woo, you're doing great. Okay. Fantastic. All right. All right, I'm going to do more or less the same thing to the top. I'm going to like finish the sleeves and finish the bottom. I don't need to finish the sides for the top because it doesn't have the slit, so I can go ahead and just serge both sides of the fabric sides down at the same time. So that is not a concern there, but we're still pointing out the serger because I still need it. So, okay. Okay. You guys ever, like, I feel like this is more of a, well, maybe this is an anybody thing, but you know how, like, little kids, adults do it too, because I'm an adult and I definitely do it, but when you're eating, like, really good food and, like, you'll put it in your mouth and then you'll kind of, like, gyrate, you know, do, like, a little happy dance. I do the same thing after, like, I finish, like, that was a good seam, you know what I mean? Like, honestly, anytime you run something through the serger, it just feels like, man, like, I really did that. I really did that. You know what I mean? I crack myself up and nobody else. Okay. Alright, so now I'm going to do the bottom. Yeah, we're going to do the bottom of the top, front, and back. So hemming is a little better. I know. I feel like that was really monotonous, you know? Um, oh, yes, my happy dance. Yeah, exactly. That's what I mean. I just feel like that's a thing. Um, yeah, sorry about that. I just feel like that was probably boring to watch, but it's one of those things, too. Like, I really, when the surge is going, I can't just really talk to you. Um, and then there are some moments I do have to kind of pay a little more attention than others. Okay. So now, oh, how do I want to do this? This is where it really becomes chaotic because it's just like, what do I want to show now? Okay. So if I consult my instructions wherever I put them, okay, I showed you guys the instructions and then I put them down. Oh, here they are. Okay. So, what is next? Oh, okay. So, I'm supposed to do the shoulder seams. I feel like if I were smart, I would. That sounds easy. Um, but the thing is, in this pattern, they want you to use this stuff. It's basically clear stay tape, and it's, you want to put it on the shoulders so they don't like stretch all out. So this helps prevent it from doing that. But you can't exactly just line it up with the edge of the fabric. It needs to be held in the seam. If I were smart, I would do a practice run. So maybe I should be smart and do a practice run because I remember doing this the first time and I did okay because I was using the serger because sometimes it's like, to be honest, like when I'm when I'm doing like 3/8, 5/8 or whatever, I'm just like wishing, hoping, and praying that like I'm like, is that really 5/8 seam? Sure, looks good to me. Um, so yeah, I have so much extra fabric from this. So I bought 5 yards of fabric to make the two things. But I probably have like 1.5 meters left. So I'm like, do I make another one? Maybe instead of a turtleneck with sleeves, maybe I just make a sleeveless turtleneck. I don't know. I definitely don't have enough to make another dress, but I don't know. Doesn't matter. The whole point is I have enough fabric to test this. So, okay. All right. So I think we're going to pretend that this could be the sleeve, right? And then the whole idea is to cut this the same length of this, and this is not to be stretched. We just sew over it. And again, it's not to be lined up with the edge. It's supposed to be hitting in the seam. So let's do a practice run. I should have plenty. Yeah, because this is really literally only for this part, and this should be good enough for all of them. Wait, is it just for that part? Well, hopefully it is. Like, I wouldn't have enough for anything else. Okay, we're good. All right, so let me put on my other camera so you can see. All right. So, got a little dirty. I have to remember to like, the sound is over here because I was trying to keep them far enough away so the serger isn't like crazy in your ear. But if I start talking this way, clearly you won't be able to hear me. So, so the seam allowance on this is 3/8 of an inch. So okay, I'm gonna say about here, and I drew in a line for 3/8 of an inch on my machine. So let's see how this works. I feel like after you've been sewing a while, you just kind of like, yeah, that looks about right. Like that should be in the seam to me. So let's see if it is. All right, so it's looking like, yeah, okay. I'm scared. I think that's why I'm stalling. I'm scared. Okay, it's fine. This is a practice. But I'm like, okay, maybe I should make sure that this stuff is on the other side of the blade. That makes sense. So it doesn't get cut. Actually, yeah, okay. Girl, just do it. I have to talk to myself like that. Even if I weren't on camera, I'd be saying the same things. Get in there. Oh, that didn't go so hot. Okay. See, it's in my hand. It's supposed to be here. All right. You know what? Let's keep it going. I'm glad I did a practice now. Okay. How did I do this once before? Doesn't matter. That was the past. Okay. Catch. Ooh. Hey, that is not freaking bad, right? Let me show you the other camera. I'm not sure you can see that too well. Back to me. Yeah. Okay, so rocked it. It was a bad start, but the whole point was to get this in the seam, and it did. So okay, so that's what we're gonna do. Okay, and I'm doing it assembly line style, so whatever I do to one side or to one thing, I'm just gonna do it together, because like there's no way I want to deal with this part again. I just want to go forward. Okay, get a drink and then keep going. Okay, so maybe the thing is too that like I go ahead and just give myself a little bit more of a generous runway. So I probably need to like cut longer. The instructions are like, oh, you know, cut it the length of the thing, but I was having a little trouble, so maybe I will. And it's not a big deal. I'll just cut it a little longer. You know what I mean? You know what I mean, Jelly Bean? Okay. You can't see this, but just trust that I'm gonna cut yeah, 4 of these. 2 for one of them and 2 for the other. So about this length. Oh yeah, I have stuff. I have enough of this for more than I'm gonna make. Well, wait. I'm good. I'm covered. Don't you love it when you already have the notions you need? because I'd already done this pattern before, I had this stuff. And I remember thinking like, man, like I sure am buying a lot. Like, but this is one of those few times where you buy more than you need, and you know, have a great live sewing session. I'll watch the rest on replay. Okay. Well, thanks for stopping by. You know, sorry for keeping you a little late, but glad you could stop by. And sweet dreams. Let's see. Ooh, ooh. Okay. It's funny because, um, you know, I've never, well, so I took like there were two classes at community college for fashion design. They were just on my own. I wasn't really following a degree plan, although I was thinking about it. This was like 2009, 2010. I had gotten laid off from a job during, you know, the economic downturn. And I had just kind of started getting into sewing, and I was taking these like one-off classes, you know, like around Houston, Texas, where I used to live. Um, and I was like learning, you know, little stuff, but you know, I think at the end of the day, I was like, you know, I'm just really into like, I think I want to learn about garment wear. You know, most intro sewing classes, you're gonna just do like, you know, how to make a tote bag and, you know, an apron and, you know, different things like that. And, you know, those things are fantastic. I still make things like that. Excuse me. But I just really wanted to kind of really understand some of the patterns that I was trying to read on my own. Because especially when I was first starting out, I was really finding it difficult to understand what they were always talking about, like in your McCall simplicity, blah blah patterns, and also too, I just didn't really feel like I was getting like all the finishing and the seams were, you know, like all that great. Anyway, I just wanted to know more, so I took it in an intro class, and you know, it was, I think at the end we made like a blazer. We made um, we made a blazer. It was unlined, and we made a skirt. Those were like some of our last projects, and then I think I took the continuation of that course, and then we had done like pants that were lined, and like this like little bolero that was also, you know, like basically a little suit jacket that was also lined. I just learned so much, and we were on like Juki machines, but they were the industrial ones, so they were going like super fast. But I guess I bring all this up to say is that, you know, it was probably like, as far as like having fun sewing, that was just the most fun I'd ever had, because you weren't the only one struggling. It was like all of us were struggling together. Like, you know, we all had our stations, and there was one girl in particular that I got really close with. Her name was Gabby. I know she's not watching, but hey, Gabby. And, you know, from day one, um, we it was the first day of class, and we just kind of sat next to each other, and we were just like sewing besties, you know, after that. But and we always worked together, and like, so, you know, you would have like one sewing station, you know, because those industrial machines would be like in the tables, and they'd have these like oil reservoirs in the bottom, so they would like butt two of, you know, these machines next to each other, so we could like see each other, like, you know, factory style, or at least what I would imagine factory style. But instead of just ignoring each other and just sewing all day, of course we were like chit chatting and all that type of stuff. And then the, you know, so imagine like, you know, a rectangular classroom, and like basically around the border, except for the front of the classroom, let's say that's where like the teacher's desk was and stuff, but like around the border of like the other three sides, you know, you had this like, you know, two paired, you know, desks set up, you know, so everybody kind of had literally like a sewing buddy. And but in the middle of the class, you know, they had like those, you know, huge tables where you could just, roll out like miles of fabric, and like be cutting, and so like just like communal cutting and like all the type of stuff. And I just loved it. And the funniest thing about it was that I always thought was, because my sewing friend, she hated sewing, and actually most of the people in there hated sewing too. And that's literally what I had come for. I think the idea of fashion design is cool, but I don't think I really aspire to be a fashion designer. I just was just really into how clothes are constructed, and maybe that's just because like a nod to my degree was architecture. So maybe there was a nod to that, because I just love the idea of like how things come together, and buildings and stuff. But to be honest, like buildings and things like that were just seemed a little maybe more overwhelming, and I think they did because I've just always been, I kind of wanted to be the person that like could do the design for everything. But you can't do that with a building. You need other people and stuff like that. I'm not saying that, maybe there's a part of me that's, more, loner like, I don't know. But I just love the idea of like, I was the project manager. I was could be the designer. I'm the person like bringing this to life, and I don't have to wait for like all these other people. I love figuring this stuff out on my own, you know. Um, so anyway, I guess I'm also trying. I bring that up to say this is these lives are probably the closest that I will probably ever get to that anymore. But sewing was just so it's just so enjoyable, but it's definitely more enjoyable like with other people, but you'll just usually never kind of get that experience. I feel like I kind of get that sometimes when um sometimes I've definitely done like some of those workshops. Like I did one a jeans making workshop a year ago, and that was great, but it is like two long days, but they're just when you're finally kind of getting to know people, you're done, and everybody just kind of goes their separate ways. But that each class was a semester long, so you really just got to know people, and you got to see people's styles, and what maybe their strengths or whatever. And like the sewing machine I worked on was, you start to get kind of used to it. You get used to its speed. You get because every machine is like the same, but every machine also has its own quirks and stuff. So anyway, so I really enjoy these lives, even if it ends up being that I'm talking to myself. I do feel like I'm talking to you, and so it's more fun. So if you ever watch at all, um, at any moment, even if a couple minutes or just a second, just pop in and pop out. Just always, thank you for watching. And I've enjoyed having you here. That was a lot. Now I think I. Okay, so back on task. Uh, so I have cut out all my 4 pieces. I'm gonna do the yeah, I'm gonna do the actual top first, because it's just less fabric. The long dress, it gets a little, the weight of it just gets a little more cumbersome. So matching it together with the notches of the shoulder seams. I don't know if you can really see, but like this is clearly the back. This the front has a. If I take away the back, you can see more of a dip because it's the front. Let me just put it together because no one cares. Okay. Let's see. So, all right. So I'm still going to pin these, but maybe I will clip these. So, got all my clips. Yeah, because if I use clips, then I'll also be able to clip the elastic in place. Smart. I'm gonna just clip it down first, and then add the elastic. I don't know if this happens to anybody else, but there are definitely, like, sometimes there are little steps and I'm like, oh god, I dread this. And this part, for some reason, I was like, everything else, even surging in the round, which actually may cheat, and I think I'm gonna sew it on that other machine and zigzag it first and then serge it, because I'm gonna have to with this part. So this will, be the mock turtleneck. This is the center back. This is where the seam. Golly. Of course, I would use really dark fabric on the first one, but there's a line here. There's a seam here, so that will line up to the back. But I will need to stretch this to fit around the neckline, and I would rather stretch to fit on that machine than this serger. Sergers, as a lot of you know, they're just a little more unforgiving. So no to be none the wiser if I cheat. It's not cheating, it's just still sewing. All right. Yes. Yeah. This is looking promising, guys. Looking real promising. I'm gonna hold you all for about 10 more minutes, and I will let you all go. Take you out of your mercy. I feel like I said that wrong, but you get me. Okay. Now, maybe I should do my shout outs a little earlier in the video, but also shout out to my folks, my parents. They've been also watching these videos, and they don't care anything about sewing, but they care about me. So so they're invested, and they're still in Houston, I'm in DC, so it's just a great way for them to see me, and it's like we're hanging out, so they can be doing something, and then I could be doing my thing on the video. And also shout out to Mary in Beasley, Texas. That's my mom's bestie. She also my mom told Mary about me doing these, so I think she's been watching sometimes too. So hey girl. It's been quite a few years since I've seen Mary, but I hope you had a great Thanksgiving too, Mary, and thank you for watching. All right. This is like this. It's like I'm talking like on QVC, but I'm selling nothing. Just, just, just a good time, hopefully. All right, let me switch up this cam. Okay, let's see. All right, you guys. So this is what we're working with. This is what I was doing while I was running my mouth. I was actually doing some work. And let's see. I think this should be good. Yeah. Yeah. I also think having yeah, that should be fine. I'm hoping. I think having it having it both clamped and just having it a little longer, the plastic, I think it should catch it okay. That scream was real. Aw, thank you. See, she's trying to be undercover, but decorating with printables. That's my mama. Oh God. Well, this went a little awry at the end. I'll show you what I mean. So started here, then we went off the rails here. Yeah, because it's showing it back here. So of course, you know, our practice one was going to be perfect, right? And then this one, not so much. But you know what? Child life is too short. You know what I mean? We just go on. You know, we can't dwell, you know, on our past mistakes. We must keep going. So what can I do? You know, it's partly my fault too, because I did I could tell when I started I did the wrong seam allowance, but I was like, you know, I'll just keep it going. Whatever. We're gonna do the same thing here. You have to bear with me. I'm a recovering perfectionist, so you'll see me be like, girl, it's all right, keep it going, because those are the things I'm telling myself. But also too, it's like part of me doesn't believe it, and I'm still like dying inside. But we're just gonna keep going, because this is a learning and growing experience. Thank you for listening. Okay, to the surgery. Okay, we're going back. We're doing it again. We're fine. Okay. That one legit turned out so much better. Let me show you. Boom. Yeah. Okay. Fantastic. And she tried. You know, whatever. It's gonna be great. Um. Yeah. Now I may be sweating. I need to put something else in this drink because, whoo. I'm just kidding. It's not that big of a deal. But those sound effects I was making as I was doing it, that was real. Um, yeah, that was real. It's just, you just you cut the, you lay out the fabric, you pick the fabric, you lay out the fabric, um you pin the pieces, you cut out the pieces, and then you've already done so much. So you just want to make sure that you don't mess up. But no, we're doing great. This is looking fly. I don't know. I'll be honest though. I don't know if I have the heart to do another one on camera. Let's see. I will pin it on camera, but I'm not surging another one on camera. Not that I don't believe in myself. It's just we're coming up on an hour, and I don't want to feel rushed. So, I'm slow. So I'm not doing that to myself. Or to you, to be fair, you know. One thing about doing this, there's there's a right side and a wrong side to every fabric, but a lot of times you designate that, so we're just going with what we know here. The fabric looks the same on both sides. All right. All right. So I'm gonna go ahead and get this started. But you know, I think y'all heard enough from me today. But hey, um, look at your girl coming on regularly, being consistent. My mom was like, she was like, oh, she was like, I didn't even get a notification that your video was coming up, but I was shocked. I checked, and you had one. She was like, this was the last time, of course. She was like, I didn't think you'd be doing it since the holidays, and I was like, I'm not letting that stop me. The holidays are just another day, and if I'm gonna be sewing regardless, which to be frank, honestly, doing these videos has made me so more consistently. But yeah, I generally, I'm not trying to let a holiday stop me. There are probably going to be some days where I can't get to it, but for the most part, I like slow sewing Sundays. So I plan on keeping it a thing. But anyway, don't let me get started again. So this has been wonderful. In all fairness, again, in all fairness, um, honestly, all jokes aside, um, this has been another wonderful episode. Thanks for hanging out. Thanks for popping in if you could at any moment. And yeah, I think we're just gonna go ahead and wrap this up. I'm gonna run this through the serger, sight unseen. At least y'all won't see it. And yeah, keep going. Well, I'm gonna do projector stuff. I promised him I would, so I am. But if I don't have this done by next Sunday, like, just that's shame on me. Shame on me. And I bring shame upon my family. It's not that serious. Okay. Enough with the corniness. Um, thank you guys. Why is it always so hard to say goodbye? I will see y'all next time. It has been fun. Bye.